Hello, this is Elliot from ETJ English and welcome to today's English lesson. This lesson once again is going to be based on the IELTS exam, and this part of the IELTS exam is the same as last time. It's the first part of the speaking exam, and in this part you get asked questions about a certain topic, and when you're being asked questions about a certain topic you'll have to talk about it and you'll be asked specific questions. Today I'm going to go over the topic of work, and I'm going to go over the questions that you're going to be asked, and I'm going to answer them myself as if I was in your position in the exam. Now I've written down all of the answers that I'm saying to you to all of these questions. So it won't seem like I'm answering in a general conversation. It might seem like I'm reading a little bit and I'll be looking down at my computer. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to get all of the vocabulary and all of the good phrases you need, and I've written it all down so that I can tell you exactly what you need to hear. So I'm not cheating, I'm just giving you the cheats. So the topic is work, and it's one that comes up quite a lot in the exam. It's quite a common topic, so it's good to have some ideas of what answers you want to give in case this is something that you're asked about in the exam. So let's start with the questions. So the first question that might come up will be, do you think job satisfaction is more important than salary when you're choosing a job? So, if you were going to answer this, let me tell you how I would answer this. I think it depends on the person and their current situation. For me, I believe you need to find a place in the middle, where you're able to enjoy your job whilst earning enough money to live comfortably. I wouldn't say no to a nice big salary though. So what did I say in this? First of all, I said, I think. Now, I think is just a way of starting something to say that you're talking about what you think, what you believe, how you view, what your opinions are on this question. You can also say, in my opinion, for me, personally, or I believe. And that's just a good way to start when you're expressing your opinion. So make sure you have a good list of these kind of words to start off to show what you're going to be talking about. I also mentioned current situation. So a current situation is the situation which they're in. Are you rich? Are you poor? Are you happy? Are you sad? What situation, what you're feeling, what your situation is. So this can depend, of course, on job satisfaction. Live comfortably is the next one that I said. To live comfortably means to live the way that you want to live so that you're able to afford what you need, to be able to have a family, to be able to live in a house, to live comfortably, to be comfortable in your life. And don't forget that I used the word although. And this is a linking word. It was a brilliant way to link what I was saying, but in an opposite way. So let's go over what I said again. I said, although I wouldn't say no to a big salary. Before I was talking about how money isn't necessarily so important when it comes to work. But I said, although I wouldn't say no to a big salary. And this is simply joining on from what I last said, but it's saying that I'm going to say something in an opposite way, although, and then something on the opposite side of the argument. It's always good to mention both sides of the argument in the speaking exam. Show two different opinions, two different sides to the argument. So make sure you've got these words like although, on the contrary, on the other hand. These are great words that you need to learn. So the second question is, what skills do you think are needed to get a good job these days? So here's what I would say. I think that the ability to solve problems using one's own initiative and staying calm under pressure are definitely important. If I were an employer, I would always look for someone with good time management skills. So, Initiative. This is a word I used. Initiative is to use your own common sense. And if you don't know what common sense is, that is just to use your brain, to use your brain in a good way, in a sensible way. Initiative is using your brain without having to ask too many questions, without having to rely on people. So this is obviously an important thing, to have initiative. I mentioned staying calm under pressure. This means just to stay focused and not get stressed when you're challenged with a task which might be quite hard. So it's important to stay calm under pressure. Time management skills. These are just being punctual, we would say. And being punctual is being on time, being able to handle time and deadlines. Deadlines are a time frame that we need to get something finished within. So time management skills are being able to do all of these things. Be on time to work, be available, and also to be able to get jobs done or projects done in time for what you're set. I also said what I would want, what I would look for in someone I was employing. I think this is an important thing to include in the interview stage of the exam also. You want to be able to express your own opinions, not just what you think people want or what you think the answer is. Also say what you believe. I would want this if I were an employer. The question number 3, remember these aren't all the questions they might be, but this is the third question that I wrote down that might come up in the exam if we're talking about work. Do you think women should be able to do all the same jobs as men do? And here's my answer. Of course, neither women nor men should be discriminated against for the jobs that they can and can't do. It should depend on the individual's strengths and weaknesses, not their gender. So this is quite a simple answer because there's not much to say about it, and I've just expressed my opinion. I've said the word discriminated, an important word and a word that we need to know these days. Being discriminated means being treated differently for how you are, whether you're, what gender you are, what sexuality you have, whether you're black, whether you're white, Asian, anything. It can depend, but being discriminated or discrimination is treating someone differently because of what they are. Gender, like I said, this is whether you're male or female. Now make sure you're strong and you express your opinions in this exam. You need to be able to say what you think, like I said before. So if you're talking about what you actually believe, what your answer is, don't be afraid to express your opinion in these questions. The examiner wants to see what you think and how your brain works, not just your English skills. So it's also like a personality test. So the fourth question that I've written down is, how has technology changed the way we work? And here's my answer. Technology is changing the way as we speak. So many businesses are taking their work online and they're finding ways to work remotely. This is because of the massive improvement in technology. Over the past few years, we've been able to do amazing things which we couldn't have even imagined 20 years ago. There's been an improvement in medicine, and who knows, maybe we will find cures for diseases in the future. Diseases like cancer, which we need to get rid of. Hopefully we'll find cures for these things with the enhancement of technology. I definitely think that there's a bright future ahead of us with the improvement of technology, and it's making us more skilled at our jobs. Although there is the opportunity for us to get lazy because of technology, and a lot of people may lose jobs because of it. So in this one, I just kind of rambled on. I just spoke. I just let my own words come out. And there's not much I can really teach you for this question if it were to come up. I'll tell you some words that I use though. I said bright future. We have a bright future ahead of us. And this just means there's a good future because of what's happening. We have a bright future ahead. The future is looking good for us. I also said that there's been an enhancement of technology. And that just means that things are getting better in the side of technology. New things are being made as we speak, and things are changing constantly because of technology. There's an enhancement Another question, next question. What is the difference between white-collar workers and blue-collar workers? Now, some of you might actually not know the answer to this, so I'm also going to be educating you in this answer. This is my answer from my knowledge. Blue-collar workers perform manual labor jobs, and they're usually something, for example, a builder or maybe a mechanic. They usually work with their hands. Whereas a white-collar worker is usually in an office-based job. They're usually highly skilled and trained in formal education, and they could be something, for example, like a lawyer or maybe an accountant or working in the banking industry. I personally haven't had an experience as a blue-collar worker, so I wouldn't know what it's like. But from what I've seen and from people I've met, it seems like it's quite physically demanding. So I mentioned manual labor. This is working with your hands, being physically active in your job. So that's what we call manual labor. It's manual, which means kind of working things physically, and labor, which is work. I said office-based job. And this is just a job which is in an office. And this is obviously what the white-collar workers would mainly be doing. You saw that I said what my opinion is, what I think, what I have experienced myself. I haven't experienced being a blue-collared worker. But from what I know is this, and that's what you need to do. Talk about your own experience. And the last question that I've written down for you, which you should consider might appear in your exam, is what jobs do you think are most valuable to our society? And it's quite a long answer, and I've written this one down, so you'll have to bear with me for my answer. In my opinion, we couldn't live without people that work in public service jobs, such as doctors, firefighters, and police. But I also believe that the people who do the less glamorous and high-paid jobs, such as cleaning and waste management, they're just as important to our society. Jobs aren't just important to society for what they provide, but they're also important for the simple fact that they give us a job and give us the opportunity to make a living for ourselves. So I said, in my opinion, we know we love this one, I've already explained it at the top. In my opinion, I think, I believe, do this whenever you can. Use different ones every time. Try not to stick to just one, because the examiner wants to see how wide your vocabulary is. Make a living. And this means just to make money in order to survive in life, to live. Make a living. We use this a lot. And everything else I explained in there, I think you just need to listen back to all of my answers again and just write down any vocabulary that you didn't quite understand and look it up in a dictionary. This is how we build vocabulary and build phrases, by listening to things like me speaking, writing down what you don't understand. If I haven't explained something in this lesson, write it down and then look it up in the dictionary. And maybe you'll be able to build your vocabulary. So that's the end of the lesson. I hope you got a kind of idea of what might come up if work was one of the subjects in the speaking exam. It might not be. It could be other things. It could be family. I've got a long list of things here. It could be family, society, nature, media and news. There's a lot of things that it could be that you have to talk about. So I'm trying to go through all of these as much as I can for you in these videos so that you're prepared. Now, these questions I've asked in this video, they're not necessarily ones that will come up. It could be something completely new, but these are questions that I've heard have come up in the exam, and I'm giving you the answers to them in case they come up again or in case there's anything similar in the future. And if you need further help, more detailed help, so that you can definitely go into that exam knowing that you're going to pass, then I suggest you book a Skype lesson with me. You can just click the link below, you know what to do, and book a lesson with me, because I will make you pass that IELTS exam. So if you're not very confident, make sure you book a lesson with me. If you like this sort of video and you want me to do more, then please give me feedback, write comments, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.